My name is Roger McDonald. I'm the author of When Colts Ran, a new novel. It's my 8th novel. When Colts Ran is set in mostly in rural New South Wales. The story starts with a chase across from Sydney over the Blue Mountains to the Central West and then right across towards Broken Hill over into South Australia, to Adelaide, up to the north of Adelaide into the desert, and then with a long droving chapter heads back into New South Wales, and finally most of the action after about chapter 4 is set in my imaginary countryside, I like to describe it as, which is a compound of where I was born and brought up, just north of Canberra, and where I now live, just south of Canberra. I'm always inspired by the idea of a book that I would love to read but hasn't been written yet. So in the case of When Colts Ran, I really wanted to bring in a lot of things that I've been thinking about throughout my writing career. Fathers and sons, lovers of all sexes, the love of the landscape. I often think that a magnet for a novel has to be a love story. In the case of When Colts Ran, there are love stories in the traditional sense, and then there are those love stories where people have a passionate attachment to a place, an occupation, or even alcohol. It's a very Australian book, When Colts Ran. I think that Australian readers, people who like finished stories, there are about 10 interconnected stories that make up the whole mosaic or the map of this novel, and each of them are complete in themselves. So you could actually take the risk of starting 3/4 of the way through, realise that you're at the start of a section that might be 2 chapters, and you'll find that's a complete story. Then I've got no objection to you bouncing back. So when you go into the bookshop to look at a copy, or order yours online, just read a couple of pages and you realise that whatever you're reading and how dense and particular that might be, there'll always be something that will illuminate it and unfold it further into the book or further on in the book. And that probably reflects the way I sometimes read books, I must confess. I read them inside out.